Alright, so we're out here at a 4052R, won't go through Regen, so, and guy needs it tomorrow, so let's see what we can come up with here. Should be enough. So, got our J1939 port here. So we just got to get that little Duker indexed properly. Not quite as friendly as your OBD2 port, that's for sure. Twist lock. Alright, we do have power there. That. At least it's a cab machine. And where are we? ECUA, stationary. Regen, required. Okay. Gonna hit our little button here, 79 hours. 35 vehicle hours, 11 PTO hours, soot 70, yeah, that doesn't seem right, 73% soot. 27 since last Regen. It's a lot of soot in a short period of time, that's for sure. Alright. So, let's go to our diagnostics here. And see if we got any other potential issues. Actually, let's close this up. And shouldn't be too loud. I want to make sure this is up to temperature. I need it at least 140 degrees. This is a, what is it? 4TNV something or another, a little 4-cylinder Yanmar engine. Common rail direct injected. So we have a 3695-14, exhaust filter cleaning inhibited by operator interface, 7 stored, and then 1 active code. Calculated soot level moderately high. So let's go straight to readings here. And ECU data list all. Inlet, outlet. Let's do our ash load, differential pressure, inlet pressure, soot load, differential based, fuel based. 7.6 grams per liter or 5.9 grams per liter. Alright, so that tells me, I mean, generally I believe it's 16 grams per liter. I haven't seen anywhere a hard spec on that, but 16 grams per liter seems to be like the ultimate 100% clogged. So 73% is a little for this, but and then ash load here is different than soot load. Ash load is your actual calculated residual ash within the DOC DPF. Once that gets to a certain range, which once again I've never seen an actual spec for, but once it gets there, you have to manually clean out the DPF. That's all the burned out stuff that won't get burned away, whereas your soot load is just that. It's soot that can be burned out. So let's look at our desired fuel, 5 milligrams per stroke, because we're going to be doing 2 different things here. We want to see if the machine is fully capable of going through Regen on its own, Engine speed will bring up. Inhibit and interlock status, I'll show you that in a second. Manifold pressure, manifold temp, fuel rail actual and desired, and we can do manifold air pressure too. I'm not super concerned. Percent load, and on switch battery voltage. Other than that, there's nothing, ICC, nothing we really want to look at while it's running. Not really. Yeah. And powertrain we're not concerned about, so we're actually going to take that off. So there's there's three ways we can look at this. We can look at it through our regular list, and if you guys notice, just for anybody who's started watching that 3000 series, if you notice here, inhibit status can, interlock status can, both not inhibited. Now if I were to go right here and press that button, which is, this is our inhibit button. This defaults to off every time. This is on, so every key cycle this automatically goes back to off. This is flashing to let us know it needs stationary regen. I could press and hold this button at this point and force it in, but I prefer to do it with the laptop so that I can actually monitor all my data points while I'm doing it. So see how we're now inhibited, and then we're going to come back over, press that again, and we're not inhibited. Whereas that other machine, something's goofy within the ECU. I got more coming on that. I've just been bouncing all over the place today. So quick couple things. Voltage is alright. Load's a little high at 10-12% for being at idle. Desired and actual match up. Engine coolant temperature is good. EGR valve's acting like it should. So anyway, we can look at it this way in a data list, or we can do our little blocks here. Depends on what I'm looking at. I mean, at this point, I don't care about that. I just wanted to show you guys how it should be, even if it's, requiring regen. Battery voltage. Yeah, we can leave that up. But what we're going to do now is we're going to go through to our tests. ECU test. I can do an actuator test, which is engine off. I can run the EGR valve or the air throttle valve. That's it. I can do control unit, cylinder cutout, or engine load profile, which we want to look at to get an idea of why this thing's so clogged up already. And you'll notice, so this is engine percentage of load, this is engine RPM. It spent the vast majority of its life low load or no load and low RPM. Very, very bad for these things. I mean, you should just be, if it's going to sit there, just crank it all the way up. You're not going to hurt nothing. So we're going to exit there. Just real quick. I guess because we're here and I'm showing you guys, I can actually show you, if I go to my edit mode, everything I do on this is monitored automatically. So I don't have to worry about pressing save or screenshots or any of that. It'll do it. So let's go back into our diagnostics, our readings. We're going to hit record. That's going to start recording, and we're going to go to our tests, service regeneration, and we're just going to go to a service regen. Enhanced passive is going to take too long. We're 73% soot. This guy needs this. I mean, he's doing this field back here, trying to get it all ready for baseball season for the kids. So we want this thing as clean as possible for him to keep doing the job starting tomorrow morning. Service recovery, only if soot level is service only or directed by CTM. This is at least 3 hours. And seeing as it's 6:30 on a Friday night, and I'm putting my own personal jobs on hold to get this done for the customer. We're gonna do the service regen. So verify, blah, 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 anything that can melt, burn, or explode. If it melts, burns, or explodes, I can get a new one. So we're gonna click OK. Regeneration in progress. And we should... There we go. We've got our elevated idle. We've got our exhaust filter light on the dash. And yep, about 2200 RPM. So now we can look at some of these data PIDs. Differential pressure, ash load. We'll let them run. That's actually how I monitor whether or not it's ready to go. But notice how quick our inlet and outlet are hopping up. So what we did, EGR valve is commanded fully closed. We jack up our fuel pressure, exhaust manifold's getting up there. Bring up the engine load partially, and we'll also, where is it? I guess I didn't put it in there. ECU, inlet, EGR temperature, fuel rail desired. I thought I put our, there we are, looking right over it, desired fuel. So notice how we were at, I guess it was 6 or 7, 4.8, 6, 7 gram or milligrams per stroke, and now with regen we've got it jacked up to 13, 14 milligrams per stroke to really get the fuel going. So a little bit more here, and these will go relatively quick compared to like an SCR system, selective catalytic reduction, just because there's less to burn out. Less processes going on, less things to heat up and cool down. So I'll let this go a little further just so you guys can get an idea of kind of temperatures you're dealing with in regen here. Fast forward through this. Of course somebody's calling. So there we are, 693, 694. So that's about where we want our inlet to be. Outlet's pretty damn close to where we want it. It's getting up there a little more. Yeah, I know. I told you I'd be late. Anyway. And what we're going to be monitoring as this goes through is our DPF soot load, both fuel and differential pressure based. So when this computer's calculating it, it looks at fuel based, so based off of the amount of fuel injected, engine load, everything else, it calculates its overall soot load. It also looks at differential pressure, so inlet versus outlet pressure. So your inlet here, and then we can assume our outlet is 0.52, 0.54 above this, so we'll call it 0.8, 0.9, maybe 1 psi pressure buildup in the DPF. So it goes off of, it calculates percentage soot load that's shown on our operator interface. It calculates that based off of whatever number is highest. So it defaults to worst case scenario. So there we go, we're climbing up a little more, 730, 720, 730 to, about 1200, Jesus Christ, 1200 degrees. So, that's that. A few hours to go now. Hooray, hooray.